Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a very exciting video. I have here my budget planner, which if you guys don't know which one this is the Plum Paper monthly planner. I've gotten a lot of questions of how to purchase a Plum Paper just because there's so many ways that you can customize this planner. So if you guys would like me to make like a full video as to how to go about the website and everything like that, go ahead and let me know. But it honestly isn't too difficult to do. It's actually pretty simple once you kind of know what it is that you want. If you guys don't necessarily want a specific video, I could always just make a quick Instagram like story or whatnot. So make sure you go follow me on my Instagram at Romina Plans. I've been very active on that in the past couple of weeks. Yeah, definitely more than in the past. But for today's video, I'm coming on here to finally set up my moving out budget. And I've been talking about this moving out budget time and time again. I feel like not only to you guys, but I feel like to my patrons for a couple of months now, and I'm happy to finally come on here and set it up with you all. If you guys are new to my channel and have no clue what's going on, I am actually moving in a couple of days, and although I'm barely setting it up in my budget planner, so kind of like the official way, I have had it on one of these large notepads from EC. This is one that I've had for a while. This is like one of my favorite prints. So I have had it for a while just there, but just wanted to really perfect it and to kind of do my research as to every single thing that I would need into my apartment. Of course, you don't necessarily need every single thing that I am budgeting for, and I will let you guys know that as I'm going through the expenses, but I do want you guys to take things into consideration. So I have for the most part researched with the help of my sister Natalie as to the different furniture, appliances and whatnot, and kind of like a medium price range, so not too expensive but also not the most inexpensive, because I would rather have something of quality. Not saying that I'm going to go and buy the most expensive thing, because I would definitely like to stay under my budget. But the first thing I want to mention before I even get into laying down the stickers, because I am going to be using of course stickers in my planner, that's my favorite thing to do, I want to really emphasize the need for a moving out savings fund. Now, if you are coming on here and thinking about the possibility of you moving out, I want to emphasize that you should definitely have money saved aside for moving out. I know for me, I have been having this idea that I've been wanting to move out since December, and it was funny because I was like, okay, I'm gonna move out, everything's gonna be perfect and it's gonna be great. But no, because I back then didn't have all the funds necessary to be able to move out. So I like to be very realistic as to the money that I have and what I can afford. And so the longer you have from the period that you kind of decide that you want to move out up until you actually move out, the more money you can save. So do take that into consideration. It is possible, to not, like I mentioned, spend money on every single thing that I'm going to be budgeting for, but this is something that I definitely want into my new apartment, and that's the main reason why I've been saving since January of this year, and I am officially moving out on August 1st. So it's been a couple of months, and could I have waited a couple more months to save a little bit more? Of course. But if you guys kind of want the whole spiel explanation as to the reasons why I'm moving out, I definitely suggest that you check out my life update video, because I kind of go in depth as to why it is that I'm moving out in the first place. But let me start rambling and get right on to setting up my moving out budget. We're not going to take a look at any of these other pages, but rather I'm not typically, I would do my debt snowball video, which is the one that I'm going to film after this, right next to my weekly check-in. But since I have that on 2 pages now, I'm going to set it up here, and I most likely will need, I will need 2 pages for my moving out budget, and I do want to make a spending tracker specifically for moving out expenses in these pages. And I have so many, in the Plum Paper, it comes with a ton, so I still have like one more page here and another one here. So I have a lot of space around here, but let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and for today use some washi. This is the floral washi for the month of July, as well as I created this moving out budget for myself. I'm not 100% sure if a lot of you guys are planning to move out, but if you guys are and would like me to list this over on my sticker shop, rominarosa.com, go ahead and let me know. But I just whipped this up with the headers that I thought were necessary for this moving out budget. So I'm gonna get right into it, and as I'm laying down my washi and all of that, I do want to mention that before you think about moving out, you not only think about what it is that you can afford, but also ways that you are able to afford the apartment. So whether that be earning some extra income or finding a roommate to move in with, those are definitely two main things that I would suggest that you do. So in my position, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm actually moving out with Paul, my boyfriend, and it honestly ended up just working out so perfectly because yeah, let's say I have a moving out savings fund specifically for that, but it's nice that I don't have to make myself responsible for every single expense, but I can rather split it up with Paul. So that's also a way that I'm saving money. And so we have our moving out budget script, and then the top here is a little bit different than like other budgeting kits that I offer in my shop, and it only has the header for moving out savings. Now, I'm not specifically going to be putting the exact amount that I have saved, not right now, possibly in the results video that I'll be making for this budget, because I am a person who really emphasizes on not only setting up the budget but checking in, whether it be daily, weekly, bi-weekly, and kind of seeing how it is that you did. So even though I'm setting this up at one point in time, I will go back to it, and I would love to make a results video if that's something that you guys are interested in. If not, I could always just do it for myself. That's what I'm going to do regardless. So the first little header here has my moving out savings. So you want to see kind of what it is that you have saved up, and from there take a look at your expenses, your moving out expenses. So I am just breaking that up with some washi. And then I'm gonna get into my moving expenses. Right there, and I feel like I should adjust this one. Perfect. Okay, so for moving out expenses, I'm going to start with expenses that you should definitely take account of if you're going to be taking account of anything. And the most important expenses that I think you should account of would be first your deposit. With renting apartments, which is what I'm going to be doing, you definitely have to take into consideration that deposit that they'll have you put down. And so the deposit for our apartment is $1,000. Now off the bat, I'm going to let you guys know that I'm not going to be paying for that deposit, but I do want you guys to take that into consideration because that is an expense that you might be asked to pay. So first I have deposit, then I'm going to put the application fee, which I guess I should have put before that. And I believe our application fee was $40, or that is the budgeted amount. It might have been a couple more dollars because of the fee they have on there, but once again, that will be talked about in my results video. So that is the application fee. Next is, of course, your first month's rent. I am going to put it here, but I'm not necessarily going to be taking it out of my moving out savings, but just so you guys have an idea, just because I make monthly budgets on my channel here, and that would be a monthly budget expense rather than just it coming out of my moving savings, but I am just going to be putting it on here. And if you guys are wondering how much it is that I'm going to be paying towards rent, I'm actually paying $800. That is my part of the rent. Next, I have on here a U-Haul, or like packing supplies. I only got this U-Haul for my very small room, which if you guys have been watching my channel, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I do have quite a bit of things, machines and heavy items that I definitely thought that I needed a U-Haul. Depending on how many things you have, you could probably manage with just like, you know, a truck or a big car, but I did decide to get a U-Haul. So the U-Haul was around $130, but I also want to put in here $40 more for like boxes, packing tape, things that you wouldn't necessarily, you know, budget for, but I definitely do want to budget for in here. So I'm going to put around 170. That's what I'm going to budget for the U-Haul, moving, packing supplies. Next up, another thing that you should definitely budget in your having your moving out budget, if you have anything else, would be a bed and bed frame. You don't necessarily need, you know, a bed frame, but that's what we got. So I'm going to put a mattress, I mean. So like mattress and bed frame. I'm just going to put bed slash frame. You guys will know what I mean. So we haven't really talked about this, but we kind of went a little extra with our mattress. I actually ended up paying for the bed frame and Paul ended up paying for the mattress. So in total, this is like one of the first things we purchased, so that's why I kind of already have the number down. So it's around $1,300. Like I mentioned, I'm only paying for the bed frame, so the actual will be a lot less than what I'm budgeting here, but definitely take into consideration which mattress it is that you want. You could go the cheaper route. I'm sure you can find mattresses for a couple $100s, not too expensive, but we kind of did go with a more bougie mattress, if we're being honest. Next moving expense would be a refrigerator. So our apartment actually didn't come with a refrigerator. It did come with other things though, but it didn't come with a refrigerator. So that's something that you have to keep in mind if you're moving into an apartment which doesn't have one. So I was looking into, like, you know, really inexpensive refrigerators, because to be honest, I don't need anything fancy. I've said this to like my patrons before, but this is not like my dream home or anything. So I try to research around refrigerators, and the more like inexpensive ones were around like $700. I think there was one for like $500, but we're gonna say $700. And so these would be the things, the most important things that I would think everybody would have to budget out when moving out. The rest of the things are more optional things that you don't necessarily need, but that I am personally budgeting for because we have either gotten them, are in the process of getting them, or will be getting them. And so I kind of want to give you guys, you know, a realistic number. So the next expense would be a couch set. And those go for around $1,000. So anywhere between $1,000, of course it could be less or more, and that's kind of something that I want you guys to take into consideration. But I definitely wanted to be realistic as to the amounts that these things were, especially for things that I want in my apartment. I haven't really talked about this, but I want the theme or kind of style that I'm kind of going for my apartment is a mid-century modern, which if you guys know anything about that kind of style, it's pretty pricey. And yeah, so that is what I budgeted for a couch set. Next moving out expense would be a dining table and chairs. So I'm just gonna put dining set. And for this, I am looking to spend around $600 for the dining set. Next expense would be a dresser, which I initially had planned on only spending around $350, which was pretty doable, but I'm going to tell you guys off the bat, we kind of went over budget on this. We ended up going to Ashley Home Store this past weekend, and we got a couple of things which I'm happy about. So but you guys will see that, and once again, the result video. Next moving expense would be some nightstands. Whoops, I always forget the I in some of the words. Okay, so for nightstands, I was looking into spending around $500 for a set of 2, of course. Next would be a center table slash a coffee table for the living room. So I'm gonna put center table. And for the center table, I am budgeting around $200 for that, which once again is very doable. I've researched all these things because I definitely wanted to have an accurate budget for every single thing. So that is what I have here. Next would be a TV stand, which we already sneak peek already bought, but we don't think that we plan on buying an actual TV. Paul has a smaller TV that he uses for, like, you know, playing and watching movies and whatnot, but I don't think we necessarily need a TV. I don't watch much TV, and if anything, we could get, I think, a good deal during Black Friday. So for the TV stand, I am budgeting $300. Next would be appliances, which I guess I can tell you guys now. Our apartment comes with a microwave, a stove, and a dishwasher. But for appliances here, it would be more of, I think we are getting a slow cooker. We want a blender, because a lot of the foods that I would be cooking would need a blender, and just things like that. So for that, I'm only going to be budgeting $250. Now, if you guys are wondering, how are you going to buy, or what category are you going to include, like your pots and pans, silverware, and whatnot, I'm actually going to make specific miscellaneous categories per apartment room. So I have, you know, miscellaneous for kitchen, living room, and bedroom and bathroom. So if you guys are wondering, well, you know, you have to account for all that too, I am. So the next miscellaneous categories would be kitchen miscellaneous, and that would be, once again, for like the pots and pans, things for the sink to dry the dishes and stuff like that. And so for this, I think I'm underestimating here, just because Paul has had an apartment before and he kind of has a couple of things, but for now I am budgeting $250 here. Next would be our living room, miscellaneous. And by living room miscellaneous, I mean any like accent pillows that I want to put on our sofa, possible curtains, other knickknacks, maybe a lamp here and there, and stuff like that to decorate the living room. So for this, I'm budgeting $200 here. Next would be our bedroom miscellaneous. And this, once again, would be for like a comforter, a possible rug, a hamper, things like that. I think for that, I had put $100 here, but now thinking about it, because I've been going to like a couple of places to look for like a comforter and bed sheets and whatnot, I think I should bump that up to $200 just to be realistic here. So this is going to be at $200. And then last but not least would be our bathroom miscellaneous. And this, I think, should be a total of around $200. Our apartment does have 2 bathrooms. I should have probably mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but I am moving into a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. Oh, I completely forgot to also mention our apartment does have a washer and a dryer in a unit, which is something that I definitely wanted to look for in an apartment, so that it's also something that I don't necessarily have to worry about. And we also get 2 parking spaces in the underground lot that the apartment complex has. So all in all, I think that the price that we're paying for this apartment, which is a total of $2,100 per month, is definitely a good price for what we're getting. And you guys do also have to take into consideration that we live in Southern California, which is so expensive. So I think for everything that we are getting, it is a pretty good price. So now that I have all of my moving out expenses, yeah, I think those are it. I am going to quickly, I think I'm going to leave a space because, or maybe 2, because you never know, something else might come up, or I might even add an unbudgeted category there. I don't think so though. We'll see. That's why I'm leaving the 2 spaces right here. So then we have our totals here, and now I'm going to go ahead and add all of my budgeted amounts. Okay, sorry about like my really really cracked screen protector here, but let's see. Let's go ahead and add these numbers up. We have 1,040, and now don't get scared about the number. Once again, I'm just gonna add the first things that I said would be kind of like necessities, but really with the mattress and the frame, it could be a lot less. So up to the refrigerator, we already are at $4,010. So do keep that in mind, but also keep in mind that you can bring down, of course, that like I mentioned. Next, we have the couch set. We have the dining set, the dresser, nightstands, 200, 300, 250, 250, 200, 200, and 200. Now, this is our number, $8,060, which sounds like such a crazy amount. I know. Like I've mentioned, please do keep in mind that I am not going to be paying for the deposit. One, I did not have to pay for the bed, rather the bed frame, which was around, I have it right here, it was around $307.96, and I am not paying for every single thing by myself. I'm pretty much splitting it with Paul. So please do take that into consideration, but I am going to be adding that as a total budgeted amount because that is the budget for this and that is the total. So I am going to put our total budgeted amount is $8,060 with 0 cents. And then the last little part that I have here in my moving out budget kit is our moving out savings minus moving out expenses and kind of what I will have left over. So I'm going to just, do I want another washi strip? I kind of do. I kind of do. Just because I have some space here. Sorry if you guys can hear my little brother. He's playing some games. Okay, now I'm gonna put this, which once again has the moving out savings minus the moving out expenses for an equal amount of how much money I have left over. Whatever it is that I have left over, I think I still will be putting it towards other knickknacks around the house as the months go by, because I will definitely have to include a household cash envelope within my monthly budget expenses. So that is pretty much going to be this. Let me actually bring my ruler. There you go. Okay, not perfect, but that's okay. Nothing is perfect in life. So that's going to be pretty much my moving out budget. I think the class page that I would just want to set up would be a spending tracker right next to this. I do have a savings tracker where it is that I, of course, put whatever money I'm putting into my savings account, whichever ones they be, my emergency, my regular one, or my moving out one. But those are more to note whatever is coming out or going into them. So for this, I want to be very specific as to what it is that I'm purchasing, as to like the dates, the amounts, the category, and where it's coming out of. So I am just gonna lay down the rest of my washi kit here. I have a spending tracker. Right, so this I'm just gonna put, and this will be perfect too because I'll be able to see what I've spent so far for which thing, which I had already kind of seen because like I mentioned, I've been having this budget, but it'd be nice to track all of the spending that I'll be making. So once again, the header will have your date, amount you spend, category, and the description, which is nice. And then I will just put my total right here. And might as well just put the last washi strip and then we'll be done with this video. All in all, I really hope that you guys found this video informative and interesting to kind of see as to the budgeted amounts that I have for moving out. Like I've mentioned, it definitely does take you having to save quite a bit of money prior to you actually moving out. And so I'm really happy that I started saving when it is that I did, because I can finally now move out and have all of these expenses covered. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please do not forget to give this a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing either a moving out or moving in vlog type of style video, maybe an apartment haul. Let me know in the comments down below, and hopefully I will get to see you guys on my next video. Bye guys!